Hi everybody, Chris here from Truly Holistic. In this video, we're going to go through a whole lot of products. Had an influx of a whole lot of product orders of late, and we've been getting through those. Yeah, so I'm going to showcase some of them today, talk a little bit more about them. One thing I want people to know about Truly Holistic is obviously my primary role is as a healer, as an intuitive quantum healer, reality coach. So we do sessions, right? So which are usually 45-minute sessions. And so when I'm making products, it's kind of the secondary aspect of what I provide. It doesn't mean that's not as important. It's just as important. But I'm essentially one-man band, So so a lot of the times, I do put this on my product store on my website that all the products are made to order. So sometimes the products can take a little bit of time to get them all done, especially when I've got a huge list of product orders coming through. But realize that my knowledge, my wisdom, my insights that come from my reality coaching and my healing practice are all incorporated in the very product that then you obtain through Truly Holistic. So we're really on the cutting edge in regards to the products that we create and provide you. And they're all products that facilitate everything that exists within you, because it's, the whole aspect of lack and believing we need things outside of ourselves. That was a manipulation of the mind and thought and mentality. And when we rise above that, which I quite often say to my clients, to rise above the gamma duality into neutrality, which is the whole process of enlightenment and empowerment to facilitate everything that already contains within you. And it was merely about you were just disconnected from it. And we just need to open and facilitate that pathway to everything that you are and everything that you need. And these are what the products do facilitate for you. They're facilitating and activating more of what you are. So quite often we associate the measurement, which we call a qubit measurement, and making the tensor products as an energetic that is very much related to how we perceive genetics or DNA as the human. And a lot of the time within that field, they reference junk DNA, and we don't see it as junk. We see it as DNA or potential, infinite potential you have within you that is just dormant and waiting to be activated. And these are the products that we provide that activate that. We're activating your infinite potential and capabilities here to then fulfill originally what you came here to do as the soul, as the consciousness, not to get hoodwinked into the limitations, the conditioning that we are bound and connected to an identity that was given to you as the human, part of the curriculum of the mind that makes you just remanifestate and have a reincarnation over and over again here, just looping and looping. We're all about growth, evolvement, ascension here, and the products are very much a big component of that, as well as things that you're just trying to address and remedy as part of your experience, whether that's pain or discomfort, a number of things. So let's just get into it now. What we're going to start off first actually is something I'm very excited about. It's actually a new product. It's not necessarily using different energetics. We're using energetics that we've been using for a wee while that were part of the Manifestation Trio Tensor Ring set, which is now part of our time kit. There's a clearing we do actually in sessions where we remove all branch timelines. And what that essentially means is pathways or avenues where your energy is being invested to provide or create an outcome, right? A path, a timeline, a journey. That is not an outcome that is in the highest good for you, right? It's not part of your heart's desires. And one thing that we make very clear at Truly Holistic is that, the original conflict as the human is we get two forms of discernment, one from mind, thought, mentality, one from heart, feel, and more intuitive. And a lot of the times they don't connect or align with each other, because really we're facilitating two different intelligences. They are not the same intelligence. So it depends what that person is being discerned or guided by, right? Who's steering your ship? If it's mind, thought, mentality, then a lot of the times a lot of these branch timelines are created. your energy is going into a lot of the blocks, obstructions that are happening in your life, right? The manifestation that's not going into your heart's desires. And they create these branch timelines. So we were used to advise, and we still do, that manifestation trio set of rings that come with the timeline kit or time kit now that you see in my product store, and using that once every day to kind of trim those branches, get rid of those, so your energy can be retracted and placed on what we call your sacred timeline, which is a manifestation, a fulfillment of what you originally came here to do, what quite often people call ascension, but essentially having a life or reality that reflects your heart's desires, the things you want instead of the things you don't want. But now we've made that kind of those energetics that make up those three rings, we've made them now into pendants. So instead of going through and doing placing one tense ring over the third eye, one over the heart, one between the feet on the ground to ground that creation, you now wear the pendants, and you don't wear all three of them at once. You have a little chart that you get with the set of three pendants that you get, which we call the geometry of your evolution pendant set, and you find out which pendant you're going to wear that day. Okay. Now, like the manifestation trio set of three rings, you have one that you put over the third eye, one you put over the heart, one you put to ground, right between the feet. Now, why we did that is because we want to get your discernment of what comes through the heart, right? Because we understand that that's your authenticity, that's your infinite nature of the soul coming forth, because it's presented by your natural state, which is a state of being, getting that heart open. And so we want to get our concepts, our ideas, right? The seeds we're going to plant as part of this reality from our heart, because we want to fulfill our heart's desires, the things we want, right? As part of our reality. Right, so with the manifestation trio set, there'd be that ring that we place over the heart. Well, we've now got a pendant, which is that one there. Okay, let's zoom out a little bit if we can go. Now that is not only it's now bringing the energetic of that, it's also bringing the symbol or the geometry of it, right? Because that is two rings that overlap that create a vesica Pisces in the middle. Now we know this is the simple geometry of conception, right? And there's two aspects of conception here. There's you coming here for an experience as the soul, and the heart is what facilitates that. So when when the embryo is being formed, it's not until the heart is formed that you as the soul comes through. Okay. We have another one, which is the same geometry. I'm just going to find it here. Here. That one there. Right, it's the same. But this is the conception of the body, because the body's going to be the vehicle that you as a soul facilitate and use to have an experience here, right? So you can see they're different sizes because they use different energetics. Okay. Now this one here is not part, we'll talk a little bit about that in a minute. It's not part of this set. But this one is about the heart, right? So that's the conception pendant. Now the next one is the infinite pendant, insight pendant, sorry, which is this one. Right, so it's the triquetra. Okay, and you can see three circles, and they're all overlapping, which create that triquetra, right? Three vesica Pisces there. Now this is to do with your place of attention, right? Because there's an old saying, where attention goes, energy flows, right? Which is implying what we place our attention or focus on, we're investing our energy into it to create more of that as part of our reality, part of our experience, right? Which is a huge realization for a lot of people, because, you know, as the human, we've got eyes and we just look. That's about as far as it goes, right? And they're unaware of how we apply our energy into the very experience of reality we're going to have. And of course, when our focus is on the dark or the negative things, the things that the news or informants are trying to distract our attention to, we end up feeding our energy into that agenda, that campaign. And we're probably not aware of it. And then we're conflicted about the very thing that we're feeding our energy into, right? So this is part of this because we want to get the concepts, the ideas from what we authentically are from the soul, right? But then we want to apply our energy into growing that seed, right? To grow that seed into a manifestation that becomes our reality. So that then is also part of that. This is also part of the energetic that opens the third eye, activates the pineal gland, right? Because part of your attention, your makeup, your matrix of attention is the two eyes to see and the one eye to know. Why we reference it as that is these two eyes, we see 0.0035% of reality. So, that's a scientific fact. Go and search it up. And science likes to use facts, right, to support a statement. And that statement, which they don't provide, but I'm going to provide it, is that we should not trust in what we see. But the problem here is that a big part of everyone's belief structure is this belief. Seeing is believing. But if we're holding on to that structure, we're believing in the 0.0035% of what our eyes show us. So, for example, when I'm looking at something, you got to understand that's showing a 0.0035% representation of what it actually is. What is? And I love how what is connected to that expression to keep it real, right? So we want this in play. And this doesn't show you through sight. It's through feel, because we realize that what gave you that belief structure to begin with, seeing as believing, which was obviously flawed, the mind did, and thought and mentality. So mind, thought, mentality is flawed as well. It's limited. The eyes are limited. What have we got left then? To connect into more, to give us greater understanding and knowing. Feel. And what's the domain of feel? The brain? No. The mind? No. The heart. Hence, this is why this is a big component of this, right? So our dance partner of the heart is our insight, which is our pineal third eye. Okay, that's your greatest guide, and it's discerned by feel. Your body, your experience of life through your body is based on what you feel. Joy, peace, love, happiness, all the things that are always part of people's heart's desires. How do we know we've made it? How do we know we're experiencing that? Because they're discerned by how it feels, not thought. Thought doesn't come into play. Okay. Now, the third one is the manifest conception pendant. Okay. And this is this beautiful geometry here. Beautiful. Look at that. Beautiful geometry. So see if we can get on the background so you can see it on the white. Look at that. Okay. So these are all different energetics you can see. So we've got the infinite qubit or energetics, Ayurveda and Moto energetics, and then we've got the generational energetics, right? So this is what kind of completes the manifestation. So that concept that was the seed that now is the plant is fully rooted, grounded in your reality. So now your reality is merely a projection of the original projector that came from the heart, came from the soul, that is full circle from concept to manifestation. So this is why this is a great system. And you just use this. Very simple. You just have to douse every day to find out, okay, which pendant I'm going to wear for the day. Very simple. Okay, there's a little key code up here to give you a little bit more understanding about each pendant. But this is new. So it's a pendant system. You get 3 pendants, which been great. I've been I've got the patinaed version because I've been wearing a lot, but every day, I've been wearing that, and it's been phenomenal. 2025 has been phenomenal so far, and a big part of that is this. So it's the geometry of your evolution pendant. Go check it out. Fantastic. Love it. Okay. So another product, we'll go to the other conception one that I was mentioning before. This has the earth element connected to it, because you've got to realize that on the level of physicality, right? And we're going to use that word physicality with the body, okay? And our perceived experience of home as the human in physicality in the 3D is what we call the planet Earth, right? So we use the Earth element as the conception of the body, the vessel, right? And of course, there's two circles, right? Now you can see perhaps one circle is male, one is female, right? And we know that obviously conception requires a male and a female to create a body, create an interface. That's what my soul calls the body. And its role is to allow a soul, right? Allow a soul to come through as that vessel's being formed. When the heart's formed, because the heart's the wormhole, the pathway to facilitate what you are from the quantum, a soul, a consciousness, a formless energy, right? Made up of frequencies, to then expand its creation here to convert it into formed matter, which is physical reality. Okay, so this pendant's great we've found for fertility, because what we're talking about here is conception of a body, of a vessel that a soul will inhabit for a lifetime, which is for a woman to get pregnant. So this is wonderful for fertility. It's also wonderful for balancing hormones. Okay, because when we look at hormones, whether it's for the role in conceiving and having fulfilling a pregnancy, right, to give birth, or just, it's not about conceiving, it's not about fertility or being pregnant, just normally to balance hormones, because hormones are all about, it's about balance. Okay, and so when it comes to a woman, we're talking perhaps about progesterone and estrogens, right? Progesterone is what keeps the estrogens in check, right? Keeps things balanced. But this is not just about those hormones. We could be talking about the thyroid. Hormones generally are regulators of the body. And like anything of the body is only as good as the state we provide it. So when we're more mind, thought, mentality, we create an unbalanced state. And that unbalance is expressed through our physiology, whether it's on a biological level, chemical level, or hormonal level. Now, when we get more into the heart, right, and the heart's innate ability, when it's open to present what you authentically are, shifts things into balance that then support your biology, chemistry, and hormones to express from that balanced state. So that's what we see. We see balance. So this is a wonderful product in regards to that. It's called the Home Pendant, and you'll see that on the product store on my website, which is trulyholistic.net/products/. Okay. What else are we going to look at? Okay. Now, this is a product here, which is called the Frequency Potentializer. Okay. So we just either have it on a copper or a brass rod, and we use light technology as the bead. So this has got crystal powders in it. And what we do is we use the crystal powders as, for me, to facilitate and anchor etheric energetics in. And what we anchor into the bead is every frequency you are and every potential of every frequency you are. And what I mean by that is that you as a soul, which is your unique energy signature, very much like we all have a different fingerprint, right? Because we're here to imprint our uniqueness on reality. We're here to create reality. That's what we do. You can't move out of that. You can't say I'm not going to create reality. That is why you're here. That's your original purpose. Now, your energy signature, your soul consciousness, is spliced over a multitude of realities, right? So in every reality, there's a spectrum of frequencies, right? But because it's a different reality universe, the laws are a little bit different. So it's a different potential of each frequency in each reality. We've anchored all of that into here, okay, which is pretty cool. Now, I got the whole idea of, looking at tuning forks, right? But the thing is, tuning forks, they use just one specific frequency. And for me, that's a compartmentalized view, one puzzle piece missing out the rest of the picture. But I'm very aware of that because that's how a human perceives everything from the mind, is to become an analytical, cerebral, and compartmentalized, which is to zoom in on the piece of the puzzle, but to lose sight of how the pieces of the puzzle come together on a holistic viewpoint. It's a big mistake that humans do all the time because of being mind oriented instead of being heart centered. But as I say, our full expansion of what we are and our infinite potential capability as the soul is not facilitated through the mind, it's facilitated through the heart, through being heart centered, not mind oriented, right? So you've got this full potential in this, and what you get with this is you get this lovely little hand and foot reflexology guide, common trigger points of fibromyalgia tender points. And what you can do is you can find areas to work on using the frequency potentializer. Now, this is on the product store, but a new addition that we're brought into, we're also now incorporating an iridology chart with the frequency potentializer product. Okay, so you will not only get this, but you also get this, and you can work on areas of the eye, as this is a guide to working physically directly on someone's eye, or you can use this as a guide for distance healing. Now, there is not another product like this out there, nothing. And as I said earlier, the products here are a byproduct of what I have learned. I've accumulated as wisdom over many years working on thousands of clients all around the world on all sorts of different health problems. And my journey, my goal of understanding the cause to many of the effect that everyone experiences, because we don't want to remedy on the effect level, because we're not really remedying it, are we? We're not healing it. The effect is just merely there due to a cause. So we are all about and what I've found is a lot of the cause, it's a lot more simpler than working on the effect level, because again, the effect level is again zoning in on a compartmentalization, which is what the mind does. We get out of the mind, we get in the heart, and it shows us the whole picture of that effect, but how it's connected to a cause, right? So we're all about that, and these products are a representation of it. So frequency potentializer, go and check it out on my product store. Now let's look at these beautiful products. Look at that. Right, so we make this is what's called a harmonizer in the tensor technology. And for many years, we didn't make them, right? And a lot of people was asking, why don't you make these? Because everyone else was making them in tensor technology. And obviously, the originator of this design was Slim Sperling, right? Who's kind of the originator of tensor technology, or brought to the masses of humanity. And tensor technology is essentially, twisted wire cut to a specific or sacred measurement, which is called a qubit, which we call an energetic, which is connected to genetics. Going back to what I said earlier, all the qubits are energetics we use. We don't use any of Slim's or anybody else's. All the energetics or qubits we make or measurements is things that have been intuitively downloaded by me, right? Very, very much, again, as I say, a byproduct of my journey as an intuitive healer and reality coach, of unlocking your infinite potential. Okay, so the products that we make here at Truly Holistic are unique to Truly Holistic. You will not find them anywhere else. Okay, now what led to us making this was that this is your heart. Okay, and anyone that you go and buy a tensor harmonizer from will not reference or connect the originator of what really a tensor harmonizer is as the heart. Okay, so this is why we didn't make them for many years, because my soul was always saying, just go back to the original template of what the harmonizer is, and it's the person's heart. Get them activating, opening the heart, and using their heart more. So that's what we worked on a lot, but it's been a bit trickier than what I originally thought was going to happen. And because the mind, humanity is so controlled and influenced, and it's like it has a side bond to the mind, right? And the mind is controlling and forging the human collective, into limitation, not into expansion. So, a big part of my work is to get people more into the heart, get out of the head, stop embodying the mind thoughts as themselves, dropping into the heart and allowing the heart to lead them through feel, through an intuitive process that is very much bound and connected into all there is, which is the now. Okay, so we started making them with the energy of the heart itself, right? So now a lot of people will go, this broadcasts out to a certain distance. Now, the measurement we use here has infinite reach. The only limitation that can be applied to this product is the owner of this product's own process from mind, thought, mentality, because that's what limits everything. So this is a broadcaster, right? So you can just place that in your home, and that will increase and enhance your ability to remain in the heart and to be heart-centered, right? Which is to facilitate the true potential and infinite and authenticity of everyone in that space. But also you can put little intention notes there to broadcast that into your environment or into your home or whatever you'd like to do. You could use that as a healing tool, right? As an intention to work on an area of the body for you. So really the true orientation of the harmonizer is not that. It's that, right? Because that is the pathway, the wormhole, the coil. And that's how you get your energy here, as I said earlier, right? With the conception of you as the soul coming here to have a life experience through the vessel, the body, was the wormhole was the heart to get here. Right? And then this is the vortex, right? Because it's the flow of energy that comes through that then supports the body, because the body works best when everything's moving and flowing, which is a flow of energy that's allowed or enabled when the heart's open. Is that vortex? A vortex, right, is a spiral geometry, but it's directly connected to the fabric of reality based on Fibonacci sequence, the golden ratio, DNA, right, which is a helical structure. It's a vortex, right? So this is a wonderful product, which usually comes with another ring, which is a double twisted ring, which is called the ease, which is bringing the energetics of peace, and you sit it on it. For this particular client, we're just making that without the ring, because they're going to connect that to their wheelchair and a few other areas of their home. But it usually comes with another ring that you sit it on. Wonderful product, because it's giving the energetics of peace, of love, the heart. But yeah, wonderful product. Go and check it out. It's called the Heart Harmonizer on the product store. Now, here's another product, which is really cool. It's called the Ascendant. Right, so beautiful geometry. I'll see if we can put it there. Right. Now, this is what I call connecting into your soul oneness, your true oneness as a soul, because that's what you authentically are. You're not a human authentically. That's an identity slapped to you, and therefore you got fully engaged into the identity as the human and this oneness of collective as humanity, which is really an identity, not what you authentically are. Okay, which is all part of the control, the influence of the mind. Now, as I said earlier, your soul, your energy signature is spliced amongst a multitude of realities. Right, we actually have a map here, which we call the Ascension map, that shows that. Right. So this is where you're at in this reality, right? And isn't it interesting that's depicted as a tree? Right. But if we put that tree on that angle, then again it's rotating. It's a spiral, right? It's a vortex, right? So it'd be rotating like that. Okay. So you're here, and there's all these other realities that your soul, your energy signature, spliced into all these different realities. So we're here. So when we look at our ascendants, from where we originally come from, is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And of course, what you can see with the ascendant is you got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and then there's one ring that encompasses that, because that's the source of your energy that encompasses these 6 realities here before you as part of your makeup. Okay. So this tool connects you more into the abundant wisdom that is being gained from every version or variant of you having experience in different realities for one sole purpose, to create experience that you then convert into wisdom. Okay. So it's like a library of infinite wisdom that you can tap into any moment, anytime you need it, but only if you use the pathway that facilitates it here, which is an open heart. As I say, you don't facilitate yourself through mind, thought, mentality, but through opening the heart and allowing the heart to lead you. So this product is wonderful for those sorts of things. It's called the Ascendant. It comes in 3 sizes. This is the smallest size. It comes into a size, which this one's one of the old ones, patinaed ones. So that's just to give you the size comparison. So that's a small, that's the next size up. And we even have a size that's even double that size, a larger size. So go and check that out. It comes with the just by itself as the Ascendant, but it also comes part of what we call the I Am Everything pyramid, which is a pyramid that sits over the Ascendant, which is a wonderful distance healing tool that facilitates all the elements that are a makeup of you, which is earth, air, water, fire, and ether. Go and check it out. Wonderful product. Great distance healing tool in its own right as well. Now, what we provide for this particular client was they wanted this made, but they wanted it to, because it gives off a field about 12, 13 feet. But I wanted it to expand its influence over a bigger period of time, a bigger area. So what we made was a custom-made tensor ring made with the infinite qubit, right? The same qubit that makes that allows infinite potential or expansion through that. So all we do is we got that, and all they'll do is they'll sit that in that ring, and now that expands further out infinitely. Okay, so that was a cool little custom job we were able to do for that particular client. Now, other things, we make bracelets, right? This is called the AccuVac coil bracelet. And we kind of recommend this bracelet for people that have any problems with grip strength in their hand, or carpal tunnel in the wrist, or arthritis that's affecting the movement or use of their fingers, their hands. So simply just place it on the wrist like that. Right. So it's wonderful, wonderful bracelet. I've had some amazing results when many years ago when I first wore this particular bracelet. I had trigger thumb, right? I could feel hard tissue right in the base of that thumb, and it was triggering. It was triggering the thumb. Click, 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 click. I was like, wow, what's going on here? I wore that bracelet for a good solid week or two, and it was gone. The hard material went away, and I got full function of my thumb again. Just like that. Just did nothing else other than wear that bracelet. So it's wonderful for those sorts of things. We've made some custom pendants, a bunch of custom pendants for a client, and there's an option on the product store which is just custom made pendant, and you can either get a spiral harmonizer pendant, you can get an AccuVac coil pendant. This is a pendant where we find out what qubits or energetics that would facilitate what you require and what you need now. So we cut them out into 2 rings, and then we brace them together, so you get this beautiful flattened pendant, custom job pendant that we make. Also, we're making little tensor rings for pets. We have a small size, which is that size for like a smaller pet, like a cat. And for a larger dog, we also make a bigger size ring. And this ring is based on the grounding or earthing energetic or element. So what that does, it just grounds that pet. Now, what we've come to find when we work on pets, especially domesticated animals, especially dogs, sometimes cats, but generally mainly dogs, is they take on the energies of their owner or their partner. For anything, even babies or young children, and with domesticated animals as well, that are greatly dependent on their caregiver or parent, they seem to get very heavily affected by the space or state that owner, caregiver, parent provides to them. So when we apply that pendant, or that you can just place on the collar to the cat or dog, enables them to relinquish the energy that is not their own. So therefore they don't get sick as well. So that's a really good product that you'll see also on my product store. Let's have a look. What else have we got? We can show you a couple more other pendants, which is called the Gateway Ascension pendants. These are pendants we've had for a very long time, and they're made up of three energetics, right? Three tensor rings that are the earth, air, water elements, which are essentially the makeup of that tree that I showed you on the ascension map. They are a wonderful pendant to start off with if you're just getting into it. Again, this is trying to support, to facilitate more of your infinite potential. And as I say, it's not just about facilitating energies, that's about spirituality, your journey here. It's also facilitating everything you are, but also everything that enables rejuvenation, regeneration, and healing of the body. Because my soul conscious always states that what we need is only one thing, that the only role we're supposed to do and provide ourselves is to facilitate our natural state. And when we facilitate our natural state, which is a state of being, to drop out of the head, get into the heart, open the heart, facilitate everything that you are, right? Because you're a multi-reality, multiversal energy at your origin as a consciousness, as a soul. You facilitate everything the body requires and needs to heal itself out of being, not out of doing, because doing is what the mind tells you what to do. Okay, and then you believe that you need to know what to do to heal the body. No, the body already innately knows what to do. It just needs the energy to facilitate that. Okay, we also make wands. This is the manifestation wand. We make two wands, the ascension wand and the manifestation wand, which are wonderful. This is great for shifting unrenewable tissue such as calcification, scar tissue adhesions into a format that then the body knows what to do with, so it can replenish it. I was talking to a client today, saying that, hey, scientific fact is, every 7 years our cells are renewed. But, if we've cut ourselves and we've got a scar somewhere, that doesn't get renewed. Why? Well, scar tissue is adhesion. It's scar tissue. It's unrenewable tissue. But now we have a means that we can teach that part to become now a shift into a renewable state, and the body can do something about it. So that's a wonderful product. Very powerful energetics facilitated through that, which is called the manifestation wand. Go and check it out. This is the small size, but you can get a size that's double that size as well. So just giving you a bit of an understanding and idea of some of the products that we have at Truly Holistic. Go and check them out. That's at trulyholistic.net/products/ go and check that out. I've got like about 50 different products on there. If you are unsure, you want to get products, you're unsure what would be best for me, don't hesitate to contact me. Just go to my website, trulyholistic.net. There's a contacts page on there that you can then just contact me, and I can get in touch with you and dowse and use my intuition ability to find out what would work for you and what is best for what you are looking for. Remember to like this video. Please subscribe to the channel if this is your first video here and you would like to see more content like this. Push the notification bell to be notified when the next video drops. Till next time, catch you later.